Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. The ladies of Hastinapur are speaking from the roof of the palaces, and they are glorifying the Lord and His transcendental qualities. We have only one Bhagavatam for reading. What do you do normally?
Sometimes we just read the verse.
Read the verse and okay.
Which chapter is it, Maharaj?
It's chapter 10,
10.
first canto.
Yeah.
We can pass the book around also. I'll sing and then you can sing once. Nunam vratasnana utadineshvara samarchito yasya grihita pannibi pivanti yaksakya daramritam muhur vrajastriya sammumuhur yatashaya Nunam vratasnana utadineshvara samarchito yasya grihita pannibi pivanti yaksakya daramritam muhur vrajastriya sammumuhur yatashaya. Sing, pass the book around.
Nunam vratasnana hutat dineshvara samartito hyasya grihita panivi vivanti yasakya dharamritam muhur rajastriya samum muhur yadashaya.
Snana Potaki Ishvara Samarchito Yasha Vihita Pandi Vidantiya Sakya Itaram Nitamu Rajastriya Samu
Srila Prabhupada's translation on purport. Nunam.
Nunam.
Certainly in the previous birth.
Certainly in the previous birth.
Vrata.
Vrata.
Vow.
Vow.
Snana.
Snana.
Birth.
Birth.
Huta.
Huta.
Sacrifice in the fire.
Sacrifice in the fire.
Adina.
Adina.
By all these.
By all these.
Ishvara.
Ishvara.
The personality of Godhead.
The personality of Godhead.
Samarchita.
Samarchita.
Perfectly worship.
Perfectly worship.
He. Certainly.
Certainly.
Asya.
Asya.
His.
His.
Grihitapanibi.
Grihitapanibi.
By the married wives.
By the married wives.
Pivanti.
Pivanti.
Relishes.
Relishes.
Yaha.
Yaha.
Those who.
Those who.
Saki.
Saki.
Offering.
Offering.
Adaramritam.
Adaramritam.
The nectar from his lips.
The nectar from his lips.
Muhu.
Muhu.
Again and again.
Again and again.
Vrajastriya.
Rajastriya.
The damsels of Brajabhumi.
The damsels of Rajabhumi.
Shammumuhu.
Shammumuhu.
Often fainted.
Often fainted.
Yatashaya.
Yatashaya.
Expecting to be favored in that way.
Expected to be favored in that way.
So the ladies are speaking to their friends in, oh friends, just think of his wives, whose hands he has accepted. How they must have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe, to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Braja Bhumi will often faint just by expecting such favors. I mistranslated snana. Snana is bath, but my sight is getting old, so I said birth. Snana, bath. If you like to repeat, oh friends,
Oh friends,
just think of his wives,
just think of his wives,
whose hands he has accepted,
whose hands he has accepted,
how they must have undergone vows,
how they must have undergone vows,
baths,
baths,
fire sacrifices,
fire sacrifices,
and perfect worship of the Lord
and perfect worship of the Lord
of the universe,
of the universe,
to constantly relish
to constantly relish
the nectar from his lips
the nectar from his lips
by kissing.
by kissing.
The damsels of Braja Bhumi
The damsels of Raja Bhumi
will often faint
were often faint
just by expecting such favors.
just by expecting such favors.
Purport. Religious rites prescribed in the scriptures are meant to purify the mundane qualities of the conditioned souls, to enable them to be gradually promoted to the stage of rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Lord. Attainment of this stage of pure spiritual life is the highest perfection, and this stage is called Svarup, or the factual identity of the living being. Liberation means renovation of this stage of Svarup. Liberation means renovation of this stage of Svarup. It's renovation. So the stage is there essentially and becomes renovated or revived. It is not something new, but it is eternal. In that perfect stage of Svarup, the living being is established in 5 phases of loving service, one of which is a stage of Madhurya Ras, or the humor of conjugal love. The Lord is always perfect in himself, and thus he has no hankering for himself. He, however, becomes a master, a friend, a son, or a husband to fulfill the intense love of the devotee concerned. Herein, 2 classes of devotees of the Lord are mentioned in the stage of conjugal love. One is Svakiya and the other is Parakiya. Both of them are in conjugal love with the personality of Godhead, Krishna. So what's the meaning of Svakiya? Svakiya.
Married love.
Married love, wedded love. And Parakiya,
It's like paramour love affair.
yeah, good.
Noviazgo, no?
Paramour, amante,
Amante, yeah. Oh, amante.
yeah. So Svakiya will be the queens of Dwarka. The ladies of Hastinapur are referring to them because the Lord is going to Dwarka. So they are meditating, oh, the Lord is going to see his wives, and what a special favor they have achieved. They are wedded to the Lord, so they can enjoy the love of, like the kisses of the Lord, husband and wife. And they are thinking, we didn't get that. We are in Hastinapur. We have seen him. For us it is a festival, seeing him, but we didn't get those favors. And then they say, even the gopis of Brajabhumi, they are actually in paramour rasa. So they will sometimes faint just by thinking in separation, thinking that the Lord will favor them as he was favoring the queens. So it seems from their statement that the ladies of Hastinapur have a preference for the wedded love. It's not, they can relate more to it. Although, comparatively speaking, the love of the gopis is described as more intimate. So
More than the wives?
yeah, it's described as higher than the wives. It has the element of, it's more intense. There is a separation and the union. This creates, fans the love, the fire of love, and becomes even bigger than that of the wives by experiencing intense separation. But actually Prabhupada explains here that the Lord reciprocates with his devotees according to the particular rasa they are naturally attracted to serve him. So from that particular rasa, the Lord reciprocates with that particular devotee and becomes what the devotee wishes the Lord to become. So if the devotee is attracted to Krishna in parental love, Vatsalya Ras, the Lord becomes a little child. If the devotee is attracted to serve the Lord becomes the master. If the devotee is attracted to serve the Lord by conjugal love, the Lord becomes the transcendental Cupid, and he exchanges that type of love. Yeya tamam prapadyante tanstataiva pajamyaham mama varman vartante manushya partha sarvajaha. Krishna says that according to how people surrender unto me, I reciprocate with them. So this happens in this world, in the material platform, but it also happens in the purest stage of consciousness, from the Shuddha Sattva stage, from the Bhava stage, in which the transcendental rasa develops naturally. The queens at Dwarka were Svakiya, or duly married wives, but the damsels of Braj were young friends of the Lord, while he was unmarried. The Lord stayed at Vrindavan till the age of 16, and his friendly relations with the neighboring girls were in terms of Parakiya. These girls, as well as the queens, underwent severe penances by taking vows, bathing, and offering sacrifices in the fire, as prescribed in the scriptures. The rites as they are not an end in themselves, nor are fruitive action. Culture of knowledge or perfection in mystic powers ends in themselves. They are all means to attain to the highest stage of Svarup. to render constitutional, transcendental service to the Lord. Each and every living being has his individual position in one of the above mentioned 5 different kinds of reciprocating means with the Lord. And in one's pure spiritual form of Svarup, the relation becomes manifest without mundane affinity. Sometimes within the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, there are 2 explanations. Some say that the Svarup is given by the Guru. Some say that, like the Babajis and so on, because of the Siddha Pranali process. And they say the Guru is giving the Svarup. They quote the verse, Pramanda Vamiti Konna Bhagyavanjeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Latavich. They say that the seat of Bhakti is given by the Guru. Other Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas favor the explanation that the Svarup is constitutional. And Srila Prabhupada favors that. We see here very clearly, he says the Svarup is constitutional. He repeatedly comes in again and again in his books. Like here in this purport, at least it comes twice. Previously Prabhupada said, this stage is called Svarup, or the factual identity of the living being. The factual identity of a living being. And Srila Prabhupada favors this. There are different examples that indicate, examples found in the literature of the Goswamis of Vrindavan and in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila, to indicate that the Svarup is constitutional. For example, when in Brihat Bhagavatamrita we find that when Gopakumar returns to Goloka Vrindavan after passing by many abodes within the universe, both material and transcendental, including Vaikunta, Ayodhya, Dwarka. Finally, Gopakumar reaches Goloka Vrindavan and he meets the Lord, and the Lord recognizes him as a cocker boy and describes him in a very personal way. It's very personal. And the way how Gopakumar has attained perfection has been through Sankirtan. There is no indication of Sita Pranali in initiation or anything like that. But simply his Guru Jayanta told him to practice. First he gave him a Gopal mantra, like one of the Gayatri mantras we sing, a particular Gopal mantra. But then in order to go to Goloka, he told him to perform Sankirtan, which indicates that Sankirtan is the process for complete perfection in the age of Kali, in the present days. Also in Chaitanya Charitamrita we find the Murari Gupta, who was a senior devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very much attracted to the worship of Sri Ramachandra. And the Lord told him, you should worship Sri Radha Krishna. Sri Krishna Stu Bhagavan Svayam. Sri Krishna is is the source of all incarnations. Therefore you worship Krishna. Murari Gupta tried to do that, but he couldn't. He couldn't because he had surrendered his heart to Lord Ramachandra. And therefore he was crying all night. He couldn't sleep. He was crying because he couldn't fulfill Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. He had great love for Lord Chaitanya. So because he couldn't fulfill his instruction, he was crying. He was crying also because he didn't want to take his heart away from Lord Ramachandra. So he was completely torn like as being tortured from, like somebody being pushed from one side and being pushed from the other. Lord Chaitanya was pushing him, you worship Radha Krishna, and then his heart was pushing him, I have given my heart belongs to Lord Ramachandra. So then in the morning he told Lord Chaitanya his predicament. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him and said, actually you are Hanuman. And therefore you cannot change your heart. So this indicates that the Svarup gives a hint that in favor of the version that is constitutional. Once some Babajis in Vrindavan challenged Srila Prabhupada's dear God brother Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. I don't know if you heard about him. He was very dear by Srila Prabhupada and very dear by ISKCON devotees. He stayed after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance for some years more, and devotees asked him to speak sometimes, but he never wanted to speak. He will only chant. I heard from some devotees who met him, he will chant. You will see him always chanting day and night. He will stay, like at night he will be chanting, the devotees will wake up in the morning, he still will be chanting. They don't know if he slept very little or he didn't sleep at all. But he was chanting in the morning, in the evening he was chanting in the morning. And then this devotee who told me, he also passed away, Vaishnava Dharma Prabhu. He told me that he went to speak to him once, and he will make him chant. He will say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the devotee will want to speak. He will say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I will make him chant. Will not speak any philosophy, just chant. But in one occasion I was told that he spoke at Krishna Balaram Mandir, and his speech was only about the glories of the holy name. So in one occasion, some Babajis came to him and challenged him, saying, your process is not bona fide because you don't have Siddha Pranali. Have you heard about Siddha Pranali? Siddha Pranali is a process followed by some Gaudiya Vaishnavas in which the Guru reveals the Svarup to the disciple. Prabhupada speaks about Siddha Pranali in Nectar of Devotion. And he says that this process is followed by devotees who are not very bona fide. Have we a Nectar of Devotion? We can not that canon.
I can get one from the office.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can look what exactly Srila Prabhupada's words more precisely. He says they are not very bona fide. The process in itself is in some bona fide scriptures. So it seems that at some stage when the disciple is very advanced, the Guru may give him. his Svarupa and so on. So then Babaji Maharaj replied, he said, do you know what is my Siddha Pranali? He said, my Siddha Pranali is Trinata Pi Sunichena Taro Rivasa Kishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanija Sadahari. And I started to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Hare
yeah.
Hare. And then he quote a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita where it says that simply by chanting, there are actually many verses. By chanting Hare Krishna, the holy name of the Lord, all perfection is achieved. So this whole, he showed them that actually this whole idea of Siddha Pranali is, okay, that doesn't mean the process is not bona fide as per se, but it is not a must. The holy name is the revealer of the Svarup. And Srila Prabhupada mentions this here actually. Prabhupada in today's purpose says, refers to all these processes of purification, renunciation, cultivation of knowledge, and so on, as means to attain the highest stage of Svarup, to render constitutional transcendental service to the Lord. And then he says, each and every living being has his individual position in one of the above mentioned 5 different kinds of reciprocating means with the Lord. And in one's pure spiritual form of Svarup, the relation becomes manifest without mundane affinity. So the relation becomes manifest. Okay, let me see if I'm able to find it. Siddha Pranali. Is there an index in this edition? I know the section, but I'm not sure if it's in the Raganuga section or in the Bhava section. It's in the first part. Here it is. It's in the chapter which describes Raganuga Bhakti, a spontaneous devotion further described. So this is chapter 16. In this connection, we should be careful about the so-called Siddha Pranali. So-called Siddha Pranali. The Siddha Pranali process is followed by a class of men who are not very authorized. So it's interesting how Prabhupada puts it. They are not very authorized. So there is some level of authorization in that. In some books of the Sampradaya, there is some reference to that process is there. But then those who apply that process and how they use it, for example, some of these fellows, what they do, they try to, in their mind, their imagination, and then in practice, they try to emulate Sri Radha Krishna's conjugal love, which is actually a great offense. Meaning they try to express it physically and then they go with others' wives. So it's actually mundanization, I would say that, making it mundane. Mundanization, if that expression exists, and mixing in Spanish, but making mundane Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So therefore, Prabhupada says that it's not very authorized, because the process may have some level of, maybe authorized, but then Prabhupada says the so-called Siddha Pranali, because this fellow who is not following even the basic principles of Dharma, basic Dharma, not to speak of transcendental Dharma, the basic Dharma, is so-called initiating into the Siddha Pranali disciple. So it's so-called Siddha Pranali process. So it is followed by a class of men who are not very authorized and who have manufactured their own way of devotional service. They imagine that they have become associates of the Lord simply by thinking of themselves like that. So I think I'm a gopi, I'm meditating, I have the Guru has given some symptoms, Ekadasha Baba, 11 symptoms of the spiritual body, and then he meditates, I'm a gopi and the color of my dress is such and such, it's blue or green or whatever, and my name is such and such, and so on. So by imagining, they think they have achieved. In many cases, the Guru has imagined something, has given to the disciple, and the disciple is imagining, but this doesn't make one perfect, inasmuch as a child who is like it's a kid is thinking, but is imagining when I will become a big boy, a man, and he's looking at his body about, do I have any hair on my body? I remember when I was a child, I was looking to see if the hair was growing. Did you do that when I was looking? I want to become a man, so I was looking. But not by looking at the body, this provokes that the hair grows. The hair will grow naturally when the child matures. So the transcendental body, according to Srila Prabhupada's version, will grow naturally when it matures in bhakti, in pure devotion. This external behavior is not at all according to the regulative principles. The so-called Siddha Pranali process is followed by the Prakrita Sahajya, a pseudo-sect of so-called Vaishnavas. In Bengal there is a classification, one of such groups, named Jati Gosai. Jati Gosai is the sect of Vaishnavas, or so-called Vaishnavas, as you like, which are born from the Babajis who united with the Matajis. Both of them took initiation, and both of them are supposed to be renouncers, but then they got together, they had children, and these are known as the Jati Gosai. So is actually, and Prabhupada in other places mentions, like accepting the renounced order of life and engaging in sexual activity is the most degraded form of religion or of dharma. So anyway, this gives an idea. This will be one of the, I didn't study them in detail, but I have read as much as to get this information. The Jati Goshais are the offspring of the Babajis and the Matajis, who are supposed to be Babajis, renouncers. In the opinion of Rupa Goswami, such activities are simply disturbances to the standard way of devotional service. And Prabhupada, here Prabhupada is paraphrasing a verse from Rupa Goswami. Any of you knows that verse? Shruti, it starts with the word Shruti. Very good. What's the meaning?
Something like to the effect devotional service which isn't based on the revealed scriptures is an unnecessary disturbance in society.
Good. Yeah. So Prabhupada is paraphrasing that verse, quoted by Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. If I remember correctly, originally belongs to the Narada Pancharatra. Rupa Goswami quotes from different scriptures, and Narada Pancharatra is one of them. Okay, another thing that Prabhupada says in this regard, I saw it before, it's a nice quote, which is very much related to this topic.
Excuse me, Maharaj, I just have to run to the shop to get some stuff for breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, this is in chapter describing the character of one in ecstatic love, chapter 18.
What's the name of this book, Maharaj?
Nectar of Devotion.
Oh, the devotion.
I'm quoting from Nectar of Devotion because it's related to something connected to today's purport about the Svarup. So these are a little bit esoteric topics. Anyway, Prabhupada speaks about them, so we're reflecting on what Prabhupada says and in order to understand it better.
Is it right that in spiritual world, if the liberated soul engaged in service for particular rasa, in particular svarup, if this soul wants to change svarup in some reason, it is possible to do?
Yeah, I mean, wants to change. Many things. The information we have about the Svarup, for example, generally the Madhurya Ras includes all the others. Madhurya includes Vatsalya, includes Sakya. In Jaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, masterpiece, there is a description of Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous devotional service, following the footsteps of the eternal associates of the Lord. And there are two disciples of a particular guru, a realized guru. And the guru, at some point they come to a level of revelation, of a level of advancement where they start seeing the guru in a particular rasa. And one of them is seeing the Guru as a servant, as a representative of Subal in the line of Sakya Ras. And the other one is seeing the Guru in Madhurya Ras as a representative of one of the main Sakis, like Lalita Saki or Vishaka Saki. And so it seems a contradiction. How come that one is seeing the Guru in Sakya Ras, the other is seeing the Guru in Madhurya Ras? Srila Bhaktivinoda's explanation is that actually the Guru was in Madhurya Ras, but one of the disciples was in Sakya Ras. So therefore he was seeing the Guru at the level of Sakya Ras, which indicates how the Sakya Ras is included in Madhurya Ras. So we should be careful not to project our material experience into the realm of transcendental rasa. Because, like, for example, changing rasa is something we, in the material world, we're like that. If I want to be this, I do this. If I want to do that. The point I'm trying to make is that actually it is beyond our intellectual calculation and classification, the experience of transcendental rasa. I heard once from Keshavarati Maharaj, I don't know if he heard directly from Srila Prabhupada or it's a secondary what brother told him, but somebody was asking Srila Prabhupada about the spiritual world and how things are there. And Prabhupada said that in the spiritual world there is no limit what you can do. So one can, if you want to offer Krishna flower, like Premakanda Prabhu brought some flowers to offer the Lord today, so he went to a garden, whatever, he got there. Or he bought them, I don't know what he did, that's up to him.
Not at that time in the morning, Maharaj. Not at that time in the morning, there's no shops open. No, I got them in the neighbourhood.
So you stole from me. It's okay, it's for Krishna.
It was engaged of neighborhood in Krishna service.
Yeah.
It's being recorded, be careful. So, anyway, Prabhupada said, if someone wants to offer Krishna flower, one wants to offer a flower to Krishna, then oneself can transform into a flower and offer himself as a flower to the Lord.
Very good.
So how come? So that's mind-blowing. This you cannot do even. You can take the most psychedelic drugs and you cannot do this. So this is transcendental body. It means you can do anything for Krishna. The rasa, however, seems to be the personally there is a particular relationship according to some of the books written by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. But in many occasions, Srila Prabhupada will say, when this type of questions were asked to him, he will say, best thing is that you go there and you see it. So we get ready by practicing devotional service and by following the path of perfection, and we attain perfection. We go there and then we see what it is like. But sometimes we try to calculate with the mind how it is exactly. And then big debates take place, and then there is in the Sampradaya there are schisms, because one says, no, this is not possible. And we are just arguing from the mental platform. Jnana. Anjavilasita shunyam, jnana karma dhyana. Devotional service should not be covered by jnana. So we shouldn't try to understand rasa by jnana. Because jnana, in order to understand rasa, jnana should be abandoned, the Bhagavatam says. In the instructions, the discussion, Ramananda Samvada, the discussion between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Ramananda Roy, the first verse that Lord Chaitanya accepted as a good proposal for perfection of life starts with is from Bhagavatam, spoken by Lord Brahma. Starts with the words, Gyane prayasam udapasya namanta eva. That one should abandon the endeavor to understand God by jnana. Gyane prayasam udapasya namanta eva. Jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya varta. Stanestita shrutigatam tanuvam manovir. That rather one should listen about the Lord from the devotees of the Lord. And one doesn't need to change his position. One can remain in one's particular situation. It is not about external change. External change may take place, may not take place. It doesn't matter that much. But the way of conquering the unconquerable Lord is by performing such service with body, mind, and words. Listening in sadhu sangha and engaging everything into that.
So, Maharaj, so part of these rasas like Santa Rasa, Madhurya rasas, we can have other rasas, a part of this.
What do you mean other rasas? No, there are
Or
five.
It's just
There are
five
5 primary rasas.
rasas, but a part of these
And then there are
rasas.
seven secondary rasas,
Yeah.
which are subservient to the primary rasas.
Yeah.
Like for example, there is the anger is one of the rasas, of the secondary rasas. So it may manifest in relation to Madhurya ras, for example.
Okay.
One gopi may express, the love is expressed through anger, and in a particular lila it becomes manifest.
But anger in
Indirect way.
a spiritual, I don't understand. Anger, but anger in like this.
It is not, it's pure anger, not anger like here.
Yeah, okay.
What we find here is the shadow, is the reflection,
Yeah.
distorted anger.
Mm-hmm.
In the spiritual world, everything is related to Krishna in divine love. Just finish the final sentences by Srila Prabhupada in today's purport, and then I think we will stop unless you have further questions. The kissing of the Lord, either by his wives or his young girlfriends, who aspire to have the Lord as their fiancé, is not of any mundane, perverted quality. Had such things been mundane, a liberated soul like Shukadeva would not have taken the trouble to relish them, nor would Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been inclined to participate in those subjects after renouncing worldly life. The stage is earned after many lives of penance.
The stages?
The stage, that stage
Yeah.
of divine love, kissing, being kissed by the Lord, is earned after many lives of penance. The Lord does not only kisses his gopi friends, But also in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gopakumar came back, he gave him a kiss in the cheek, like a friend, like one child to another child. So kissing of the Lord is not only, of course this is conjugal kissing, Sakya Ras kissing is different. So like two children kissing each other like that. So these transcendental favors of the Lord are attained only after many lifetimes of devotional service, divine penance. And Prabhupada gives the one example just to end, the different nature of conjugal love in transcendental life and conjugal love in mundane life. They are compared by Kaviraj Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, to gold and iron. Both are metals, but they are of a very different quality. Gold can be found in the middle of the garbage and it's not polluted. There is no degradation of gold. But iron, even with the purest element, water, becomes rusty. So conjugal love in the mundane platform becomes rusty. But in the transcendental platform, it's pure like gold. Nothing can pollute it. Final comments or questions?
I just heard one thing Shruti Prabhu, Prabhupada Sattva, posted on his Facebook that Prabhupada wrote a letter saying that Arjuna and I think Kunti Dev, they stay in the material world eternally in Krishna's Leela in the eternal.
Arjuna and Kunti Devi.
Yeah, they stay with Krishna eternally in the material world. Prabhupada was saying that. So that was quite interesting.
So they have that particular rasa.
Yeah.
That's their service.
Yeah.
So there is a service. We have a mission. Many times people want to find out their mission. So there is a mission in this world, but then we have the eternal mission of the self.
This
So
mission,
we are servants. So whatever relationship we have with Krishna, however we are made, we are happy to serve Krishna in this way. That's a mood to cultivate. Whatever Krishna wants me to do, I do. And this will come naturally.
oh yeah, okay, so we shouldn't really meditate on it so much. Should we meditate on this mission, or we just continue in our devotional service, what we're doing, waiting for Krishna to give us this, type of mission, or what?
You mean about the rasa or the mission in terms of service in this world? Or
Yeah, like service in this world, service in this world, like mission in this world. So we not meditate on it so much and just wait and do our service, what we're doing now, practice the principles, chant our rounds, etc., and not meditate on it so much, or just wait, or what?
Well, in this world we can get direction from the spiritual master and other devotees and find out what's our mission, our service. It can vary, we can do different things, but it's good to have a sense of purpose in the Krishna consciousness movement. It helps us to focus and to contribute something substantial for the benefit of other souls.
What?
It can be something simple, doesn't have to be like, Prabhupada gives the example of that lady in Vrindavan who was taking water every day. She was going, whether it was hot or cold, she would take every day a jug of water, full of water from the Yamuna to bathe the deity. And Prabhupada showed his disciples, you see this lady? She's doing every day, no matter what, she's doing that service. That was her mission. Very simple mission, but she she stick to it. I'm very determined and fulfilling with love for the deity. Brought the Yamuna water for bathing the deity of a particular temple.
Maharaj, anything we do, if we're living in the temple, anything we do, should we always consult the spiritual master about what we do? For example, if you're going to do something in the temple, obviously you wouldn't consult the spiritual master, you'd consult the authorities. But if you wanted to, for example, go to another country, for example, some example, to go and do book distribution or something like that, you know, just an example, should we consult the spiritual master about this? Moving from one temple to another temple, something like that.
The spiritual masters, generally, they want their disciples to be self-intelligent, that they want the disciples to grow and to use their God-given intelligence to
Initiative.
Initiative, yeah.
They like that.
Independently thoughtful.
Yeah, independently thoughtful, exactly. They like that. Of course, if it's a major decision, it's good to confirm for our own safety.
Yeah.
We're taking a big, major decision. Let's double check. Even if we are convinced, confirm and going in the right direction. But like a father doesn't like the child is. Maybe in the beginning, yes, but doesn't like the child forever, like daddy or mom, can I go to the toilet? They don't want that everything is asked. They want the child to grow and to
take initiative.
And
Yeah.
become mature and take good initiative, not just initiative, not foolish initiative, but good initiative.
But how should that be approached? How should that be approached? You know, if you're asking your spiritual master, for example, I want to go to another country to do book distribution. How should that be approached? Asking him like this, I want to do this, no? Or how should that be approached?
Well, if you want to go,
should be
then
approached
you
like
ask
this.
permission. Sometimes the
Or what is
devotees
your advice?
don't articulate what they want,
Yeah.
and then the guru sometimes the devotees want to be very, very completely surrendered, whatever the guru wants, but they just surrender in the mind because they want to do something else.
Yeah.
And then they want to ask the guru in a way, the guru will be the one who will tell, but they don't really want. Like if, say for example, if I feel the need to go to such and such place, for whatever reason, then I ask Guru Maharaj, is it okay? I will like to go to that place to distribute books for whatever reason. I think I will have good association there. I'm begging, asking for your blessings. Then you are like that. If you say, what do you think is a good idea? And he says no, and you want to go, then you will be frustrated.
Yeah, okay.
Better ask him.
Yeah, one time I was at Jayananda, who was a devotee in San Francisco. Prabhupada asked him wanted him to go to Mayapur and get involved in construction there. But Jayananda said, no, I want to stay in the Bay Area. And Prabhupada said, okay, that's okay. So sometimes it's reciprocation as well as just Shudra kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a personal relationship, and there should be communication. Like I remember one devotee, the guru asked him, how are you? And he said, I'm fine. And he wasn't fine, he was going through hell, he was going through trouble, and then he had difficulties. And then the guru, later on when they discussed, the guru asked him, why you didn't tell me you were having a hard time? We could have made some adjustments. So if one goes to the doctor and says, I'm okay, and he's with pain, and then he's taken to the hospital to intensive care unit because he didn't take care properly. So one should inform the doctor what's going on.
It's very true. In some cases, you ask devotees, "How are you, Prabhu? Are you okay?" "Yeah, sure, Prabhu. I'm okay. I'm okay." And really, they're not okay.
Yeah, well,
I've had
okay,
experience like
devotees,
that,
somebody may choose to reveal his heart to you or not,
yeah.
but with the guru is the doctor, spiritual doctor.
Of course, yeah. At least it should be to him, yeah, yeah.
At least to the doctor, one should tell the truth.
Uh-huh.
There is approach in devotees like if you think to do something very difficult, Krishna will make it difficult. If you expect or if you think it's easy to do, Krishna will make it easy for you to do. Can we apply it, or is this approach real? And if it is real, can we apply it for chanting? In a way, like we want to have the chanting as a pleasant process, and Krishna will make the chanting as a pleasure, but not as a hard work, as you described yesterday.
Yeah, if we do it with faith, Krishna will help us. If we choose an impossible mission, but with faith that Krishna will help, and it's a real faith, not fake faith. That's important, that there should be authenticity. So if there is conviction from the heart, then Krishna will help. Like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada came embarked in an impossible mission. From the point of view of many of his contemporary Vaishnavas or brothers, they thought it's impossible. But because he had faith on his Guru's instructions and on the holy name, then things happen magically. And he knew, I am not the doer. He was convinced. And even he said, I'll go to America. He said, at least if I fail, I'll fail in a different place than my God brothers. They went to the UK. They didn't really succeed substantially. They did something, but not really establish something permanent. So he said, if I fail, I will fail elsewhere. So he didn't think he was a doer. He knew it was difficult, but he had the faith. And then he did it. And he was detached at the same time. If it doesn't fly, okay, I'm doing it for Krishna, for my Guru. Also in the Bible, Jesus said, if you will have faith, you will tell that mountain you move, and the mountain will move. So faith can move mountains.
One time Prabhupada gathered all his sannyasis and taught men into a room. He said, the problem with you is you don't actually believe Krishna is God. And he said, if I had something like 12 men who had faith, I could take over the world in 6 months. So faith's a very rare thing.
Hmm.
Here is another opinion about the chanting on tulsi beads and on other beads. Some devotee says for non-initiated devotee, it is better not to chant on tulsi beads because tulsi is accepting the offenses. So it is better to chant on neem beads or other wood.
Who said that?
Some devotees know it's. I can't find any proof or disproof of this opinion.
I think these are small details. I think what is important is to chant, whether you chant one type of beads or others. Prabhupada doesn't use in the books, he doesn't get into. Sometimes he gives details there, and details may be nice, but I don't think that will change life. The main thing is to chant without offenses. This is what the Bhagavatam says. Chant following in the footsteps of the higher authorities. Doesn't say the 10 offenses to the holy name, doesn't say to chant with such and such beads or these other types of beads.
How much? How much beads are
Small.
used?
In my estimation, based on what I have read in Prabhupada's books, it's an insignificant detail. If sometimes devotees make arguments, devotees may not very mature make arguments out of any small thing. A small detail, big argument, big fight. That's Kali Yuga. I mean, I don't say that's the case, but sometimes these things happen. You can chant this, that. Come on, chant.
Well, in this case, could you explain the situation about the chocolate? When I was in Ukraine, it was clearly explained to all of us that the chocolate is forbidden to eat as caffeine content is there. So when I was living in Ukraine, we did not touch chocolate at all. When I came here, I saw a different picture, and could you comment on this, please?
About eating chocolate.
Yes, about
There's two
chocolate,
different
please.
versions there seem to be. Even I was surprised once that devotees from Hungary, which is one of the most conservative yatras in the world, ISKCON yatras, some disciples of Shiva Maharaj, I saw them, we went for ice cream. It was a conference in Prabhupada Desh. And one devotee has an ice cream shop in the town. So part of the recreation was, okay, let's go together, all the conference participants, to have ice cream to the devotees' ice cream shop. And these devotees were eating chocolate ice cream. And I think I asked them, is this carob? They said, no, it's real chocolate. I was surprised. Well, my child is eating real chocolate. I said, yeah. And then the argument was that somebody had said that it has not. So I have here the two versions. There is one trophos, something, substance that's contained in the chocolate, some say. Some say that you can eat white chocolate.
Yeah, white chocolate does not contain caffeine.
Anyway, generally, I don't eat chocolate, generally. White chocolate, if they offer and I see devotees eating white chocolate, I eat. And in very extreme circumstances, I may eat the other chocolate with devotees in a particular situation. Generally avoid it, just in case. But these Hungarian devotees were eating, and they were saying it's bona fide. So
The carob,
I mean, maybe bona
chocolate is
fide,
not
I don't
better
say.
anyway. The carob chocolate, and in Malaga I've had carob. All the cakes they make is with carob.
I don't like the taste.
And then they make also ice cream with carob.
It's not,
No.
for some people, they say,
You don't like
for me, I don't
I don't like carrot taste.
Oh, you don't like the taste, yeah.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently Prabhupada was really against chocolate.
in Harishari Prabhu's book,
Prabhupada wasn't.
in Harishari Prabhu's book,
Yeah.
there is a reference in Vrindavan. There was an argument between, I think it was Kim and Harishari Prabhu, who was Prabhupada's secretary, and a temple commander in Vrindavan, because devotees in the winter, they were serving liquid chocolate. And then they look at the ingredients and Prabhupada decided, no, stop it.
Srila Prabhupada said that.
That's in Harishari Prabhu's
Yeah.
Transcendental Diary. So they look at him at the ingredients or something, there was something, and they said, stop it. Prabhupada said, stop it. So, anyway, different, sometimes we find different instructions and then we have to choose what we do. Based on that is that I avoid it. Because in that occasion, Prabhupada said, stop it. But then I think Yadunandana Maharaj was quoting some other occasion where they offered Prabhupada chocolate cake and Prabhupada ate it. So it's kind of, you can always find, anyway, we should do our best to follow what Shastra says and what the Acharyas say, and use our God-given intelligence based on Sadhu Shastra Guru to make good choices. And then Krishna will reciprocate.
I heard Srila Prabhupada tasted chocolate first time in his life only in America. Is it right?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then when he tasted, he realized what is it, and then he said, no, thank you, no more.
I don't know.
So it is unknown in India.
I don't know if I didn't do a research on chocolate and Prabhupada. Yeah, sometimes for this you need to do. If you want to go deeper into the topic, you have to look at different sources to get a comprehensive picture. Otherwise, they will just put here and there. So if you want to get a big picture, for me it's not a big deal. I mean, even if I see somebody who is eating chocolate, I don't condemn them. I don't eat chocolate, but I don't. Especially ladies, they like chocolate like anything. It's typical. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.